Hello, everybody. Hold on one second. How's it going? Sorry for the amount of noise that you're hearing in the background. I have a fan in my room because it has gotten to that point with the heat. So you're gonna probably be seeing me talk for a minute here, at least in terms of the PNG. But yeah, hello everybody. I hope you're having yourselves a good morning, day, night, evening, whatever time zone y'all are in today. I hope it is a good one, whatever it may be. As for me, this morning has just been kind of nice, other than the fact that the heat has just been crazy. Forgive me turning down the music a little bit on my end here. Well, for the stream in general too, but yeah. But yeah, as for of today, for any of you wondering what's happening, I decided over the couple days that I want to add a new PNG to the mix of everything. I want to kind of like add a little bit more, a couple more PNGs into my library because, to be honest, I feel like I don't really have a lot, even though in reality I have about like, hold on one second, let me actually see, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them, but you know what, honestly 6 isn't enough. We need more. We need to add more to the lineup of PNGs. And today I wanted to make a battle ready sort of styled one, which you'll be seeing in a bit. But before we get into the art itself, up here, if you haven't already been looking, I have a Redbubble and also a coffee. So if you want to go over to my Redbubble and get some stickers from your boy, then feel free to do so. And if you want to, and if my art interests you in any sort of way, I'm doing comms over in coffee, where I will do regular art pieces and also Twitch emotes. Regular art pieces are $5, $10, and $20, and each emote for Twitch is $3. But yeah, that's that. If you want to help out a little artist like me and my art, so it feels like it kind of suits some sort of vibe for you, then feel free to hit me up on coffee if you wish to do so. But anyway, enough about that. Let's head over to doing some art now. First things first, let me go back and turn off that fan real quick. Keep that off just for now. I should also turn down this one. The ceiling fan really feels like it's not doing anything, if I'll be honest. I'm really gonna need to find like one of those fans that can like, or at least some sort of cooling unit that can at least like help cool the room a bit, because it's obvious that the air conditioning in the house is not going to be able to he's not going to be able to cut it. Alright, but anywho, time for the actuality of things at hand, and that is some art, people. Alright, music shush, it's time for another part of the list. There we go. That's some good shit right there. Get me crazy. Alright. So. Oh, sorry. I felt like I had a hiccup coming up, but anyway. Battle pose. What is something that should be, oh, and I know what I could do. We're gonna go for a bit of a random type of pose. Actually, I should not have it like that. I should have it more like this. Basically, the way this is gonna work is a bit weird. Now, at first it's going to look a bit normal, but in reality it's actually going to be a little bit more complex than that. So what I'm actually going to be doing is something like this, where it's like... my metal arm kind of ready for proper performance in battle, because obviously my metal arm is the thing I use for fights. While While my left arm, regular arm, no technological advances on it whatsoever. It's gonna be over there. But the thing is, this leg right here is gonna be my left leg. It's gonna be a bit of a body twist sort of deal. And looking at it, I made this stick figure just a little too small. But that could be fixed in about a minute or two. Also, I just kind of realized one other thing that I should do, and that is hop in there in case anybody wants to stop by and chat for a minute or two. Sorry, my throat for some reason is pretty dry. I don't know why. I don't know what's been happening. Alright. That ain't gonna help much in terms of just needing something to moisten up my fart, but here we are. Oh boy, not mean for that to happen. Okie doke. Okay, yeah, so far so good. But that is the wrong thing to grab. Alright. For anybody wondering what pose I was talking about that we're going to be taking up, basically going to be having left foot forward and right arm forward. How are we going to do that? You'll see in about a second here if I know how to properly twist the body. The thing is, I think for this, it might end up being two different poses, so we might see as we go on. But for now, next layer, a bit of a darker pencil. Actually, I probably should start with making the body a little bit first, so that way I got like what I need. Come on. Come on, grab the screen fingers. Hey, what's up there, Conker?
Hello.
Oh, nice to see you this morning, man. How you doing? You having a nice morning so far? Everything been going peaches for you as of late? How is Conker this fine day? Am I right just to work? Nice, Harry. Well, hopefully work is treating you well enough. How are things on your end today, sir? So far, right? I had to have a fan blowing in my room for a bit because of the fact that it is still hot as fuck over here. Oh, hey, Cerebot Beta Bot in the chat. Thank you, Cerebot. Yeah, it's just, needless to say, summer has definitely already been taking a toll on me mentally and physically, and I'm hating every second of it. But hey, here we are. Gotta work with what we can, you know? fuck? Okay, I gotta remember the fact that this has to basically be the left leg and is a twisting body. I gotta remember that. I gotta remember that, or else we're gonna have some minute problems. Maybe I should get to drawing the arm first, then figure out how to twist the body from there. Okay, getting like looking at my own hand real quick just to get like an idea of how the hand should look. At least for what I'm going for. I'm kind of going for like a claw type of thing. The reason the hand kind of feels just a little too thick and a little uneven. Hold on one second. I know not a lot of people would complain for something to be a little too thick, but to me that is a little too thick. So far I'm not a fan of the thickness. Bring that down a bit. The hand's definitely gonna look a bit weird, but I mean, hey, we'll work with what we can, you know? Sorry, my throat. Okay, and in terms of face, hold on one second. Okay. Yeah, I gotta physically pose myself so that way I can actually like get an idea of what I gotta work with here. Okay, I got an idea. I got an idea. I done got an idea. This is most likely gonna look pretty weird, but hey, we'll work with what we can. Trying to get an idea of how I should draw the fist here. Actually, no, wait. Idea. For how it should look, we're gonna have an open palm for the non-talking and a clenched fist for the talking. Okay, and actually thinking about it, I should totally readjust the arm here because this is not going to work out, at least physically. The physicality of the situation may not make sense in any sort of which way, so we must make some recalibrations here. Yeah, forgive me, but forgive me when it does come to this, like, normative way of, like, drawing, because I'm not used to drawing twisted bodies, or at least bodies in certain specific poses in any sort of way, so I'm a little bit, not necessarily rusty, but a little what's the word? Untrained to be able to, like, have a keen eye in doing this type of stuff, you know? You gotta remember to go for a claw. We need the claw. Must have claw. Okay. How did that happen? A little bit of a minute edit with that. A bit smaller there. Let's go for a little bit of like this, and then yeah, that's looking nice. Looking gorgeous, and gorgeous is looking gorgeous. We be looking gorgeous. At least right now. Couple of rogue lines here and there, but that's alright, that's okay. Everything's fine here, we just need to, like, obviously make our readjustments as time passes. Okay, let's see how this is looking so far without the stick figure in the way. And the reference. You know what? So far so good. So far so good. You're kind of realizing it. This is definitely going to be a bit of a weird one, but I mean, hey, we'll work with what we can, you know? We'll work with what we can. Actually, I should make a minute readjustment, at least with the right leg. Should make it look like it actually is being a little bit more carried forward with the weight a little bit. And just make minute adjustments as said. I think it's looking very nice. Also, on a completely different note, I should mention something real fast. I've been kind of thinking about changing up the schedule just a little bit, at least involving with everything tonight. Because I don't know if any of you saw on my Blue Sky, which you can follow me there if you haven't. I made a purchase yesterday, and I'm thinking about changing the schedule of tonight with from more art to the game that I had purchased, which, if you were paying attention, is the newest Capcom Fighting Collection, because I've been keeping my eye on that for a long while, and I really would like to go ahead and play that a little bit more and get an idea of what those games are like in that collection. Because, goddamn, they look like they're a lot of fun. Throat is a bit dry, hold on. Spicy indeed. The thing is, for when it comes to this variant that I had to purchase, it is the PlayStation version, not the PC version. The reason why is because I wanted to just like actually get one for the PlayStation in case my friends like see it and decide to think, you know what? Fuck it, I'm gonna grab that. You know what I mean? Because honestly, so far those games definitely look like really, really fun. And I think it would also be pretty funny if me and Shep just decided to hop on and just go at each other's throats with that shit. You know what I mean? It's funny because I feel like everybody in the group that I play with would definitely kind of like that game a bit. Especially with the fact that I know that they would love to go ahead and pound each other's throats out. That sounded wrong. But hey, you know, it is what it is. Yeah, I just think it would definitely be a bit funny, but who knows? Maybe time will tell if they even decide to like grab it. And spicy indeed, that character. Spicy indeed. But even then, even though I made mention of like buying the PlayStation version, I definitely would still like to get the PC version later down the line, only just because I know that there are a couple other friends that most likely would get the PC version. Just that I bought the PlayStation version first, just because majority of my friends are on PlayStation, so who knows, maybe later down the line. Maybe later down the line, who knows. The reason why I say I would like to get both versions is because sadly that game is not cross-plat. It would be cool if it was, but sadly no. It's not cross-plat? No, it is not. Yeah, it is a bit sad, but I mean, hey, it is what it is, you know? But even then, I feel like it's definitely at least best to get many copies of that collection, just for the purposes of telling Capcom, hey, you see this shit that you just put out? Yeah, we want more. Get to cooking, bitches. But yeah, even then, even though I never personally grew up playing a lot of those games, I definitely think it's, in my personal opinion, I think it's always best to like preserve a lot of like stuff involving gaming history. Which is why I kind of just wish that a lot of companies would definitely bring back a lot of older games in some sort of way. Doesn't matter if it's like the old game itself or a brand new entry to the series. Just at least something would be nice, you know? And even if it's not that great, at least people can say, at least we got it. At least we got something, you know? No, I feel about it personal. Which is why I'm still clinging on to hope that one day we can at least see something new involved with Bloody Roar. Can we please get something for once, please? Anyway. But yeah, if you can tell, I definitely would love to see something involved with Bloody Roar, because holy fuck, it's been for fucking ever since we got something brand new. And I mean forever. At least that's how it feels, you know? Let me get like a good idea of like how the hoodie should look in this turn. I'm trying to make myself just look a tad bit flexible with this twist. And with the way the left leg also looks, I might need to make some adjustments with that too. Hold on, let me. I need to stand up personally and just pose into that way again, so that way I get an idea of what I'm trying to do. Okay, I see what the problem. I see what the problem actually is. I need to readjust the torso entirely a little bit. Because I am making myself lean just a little too far forward. Not necessarily the leg, it is just the torso itself, really. Fuck. Actually, because it's the front of the torso, I'm gonna need to just raise it up a tad bit, do a little bit of this. I'm gonna need to readjust the hoodie a bit too, because fuck, this is a bit too stupid. I'm gonna do this for my own mentality a little bit. I'm doing this on the separate layer because I'm going to combine the layers in a second here. Come on. Come on, iPad. Recognize the fact that I have fingers. Recognize the fact that I have fingers, please. I just love it when a touch device doesn't recognize the fact that you're touching it. Touch, 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 touch. I'm yelling out the moments when I say touch, just because of the fact that I want people to know when I'm touching it and when it's not gonna move when I touch it. Touch, touch. Certain things like that technically do not count because of the fact that I am using my pen to move that. Alright, now we can go back, go to this layer, and erase this in its entirety. And then combine these two layers together. Beautiful! Alright, now let's get back to the original plan, and that is to do a bit of this, a bit of that. Getting the general shape of the hoodie itself, or the hood of the hoodie, I should say. Fuck. Touch, 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 touch. You're like Patrick in the museum with jellyfish, just touch, touch, touch. Oh, actually, that's a little too high for the jacket. Yeah, maybe not as high as I originally thought, but you know what? It's still a little too high for me. And I'm a man that likes to ride the clouds. It's probably explaining why my throat is a little dry this morning. I'd had a little too much to smoke last night. But hey, it is what it is sometimes, friends. It is what it is. Yeah, this is also a good excuse and time to actually really showcase the back of the hoodie a bit, because kind of realizing it, I rarely ever do that. Here's where we put a little bit of a made that a little too big. I'm not gonna lie, I would genuinely love to make this hoodie like a real thing a real thing eventually later down the line. But I would need to definitely do a lot of research and see if I can find a t-shirt company that could make something that will be, or at least like a hoodie company that will make something that like that. Like, only time can tell, and only research will prevail. Like how it normally does with everything in life. Nothing can ever be done without the proper formats of research that is in many cases humane, and even then that's hard to come across nowadays. A little bit this right here, a little bit right there. Yeah! Nice. Yeah, sometimes I need to go back and check like my own designs for some of my characters a lot, because I forget how the mouth looks on the back of the hoodie. Yes, I have a sharp smile of my own mask on the back of my hoodie. Why do you ask? as a format of floor. I thought somebody was knocking on my door for a second. I heard like a little of that, and I was just like, somebody knocking on my door? Nope. I think this is a prime opportunity to actually try to go ahead and draw a star on the shoulder here. At least a proper star. If we can even get there. Yeah. Okay, minimize this a lot. Gonna need to get in there and get the finer details of things, so that way it doesn't look too janky. I'm all for jank, but only when it calls for it. Like I've said many times, I am a fool, not an idiot. Alright, that looks nice. It's a bit rough kind of using this eraser in particular, only just because of the fact that like I'm so used to using the eraser with this pen type in particular instead of the one below it, the untitled brush. But hey, it is what it is, and it's working out very well, and I like it a lot. Actually, no, that's not necessary. A little bit of this, a little bit of that. Looking very, very nice, sir. Looking very good, very nice, very clean. Oh boy. That was a little less clean. Okay, yeah, that is supposed... Okay, yeah, that is supposed to be the left hand. I'm sorry, all of us artists have the problem of like making sure that we can draw the right hand on the right hand on the right arm, and boy, it is difficult sometimes. Even when you feel like you got it. Okay, I'm gonna need to do a little bit, have it be more like this. You got a heartache. It's always nice being able to like listen to this music in the morning. Like, I've always tried to find like a good format of music to listen to for mornings, and honestly, this has proven to be very nice. I like this. I love this. I'm enjoying it, and I hope you guys are too. I always like to enjoy the morning with a couple of peeps, even if we barely know each other. Because if you ask me, I feel like in many cases, nothing says a nice, wholesome moment than enjoying a morning with a couple of random strangers, even if it is just even if it can be a little awkward in some areas. Sounds a little weird when I put it that way, but you know what? It's nice to, I mean in the sense of like, it's nice to make friends. That's what I mean. So if you are new here, I hope you're enjoying your stay. I hope you're enjoying your time here. not always how many mornings usually go, but it's just at least kind of an idea of what you can get, you know? It's a simple, clean, and nice idea. Thank you for the hydrate there, Cocker.
What do nightmares taste like, anyway?
Pepsi. Again, a good idea of how the mornings go. And kind of just in general how streams go. Thank you again for that, Cocker. Yeah. You know, I would love to see a lot of people like remake a bunch of this music. I mean, like fans making different variations. Because I don't know if any of you like saw, but there was one made by the 8-Bit Band. That was like their interpretation of like a Marvel vs. Capcom 2 theme. Well, it wasn't really much of a theme. It was like their own song, themed after the game itself, or at least the game's music, I should say. And I will say it was very, very good. You know what? I'm gonna look it up real quick, and I'm gonna link it in the chat if anybody wants to. If anybody's listening in and wants to give that a listen. I would play it on stream, but I fear that the band themselves kind of do copyright a bunch of their stuff. So just on the in case. And out of pure respect for the band, because they do put a lot of hard work into their music, I definitely won't really do that. If they allow it, then I mean, hey, that'd be great. But I mean, I guess we'll see as time flies, because I do not know. 8-bit big band, MVC. There it is. Okay, share, copy link. All right, so to anybody that wants to give that song a listen, I'm posting in the chat right now. Give that song a listen, because goddamn, it's beautiful. It's a beautiful song. I believe you can find it in other places, but I currently only posted the YouTube link because that's usually where I personally listen anyway. I need more, a couple more little wrinkles on the sleeve here. A little bit more of that, and then have it be more like this. Filling with the eraser to its finest form. That works better. Yeah, that's looking nice. Get into the minute details like that. Ba, 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 ba. Kind of do need to adjust this a little bit in terms of looks. Oh yeah, it's looking nice. It's looking good. Looking very, very good. Immensely very good. Bring in lines for the shirt itself real quick. This is where we get to the head now. Okay, for the first part of the mask of what I'm thinking, or at least like the first PNG, which we're doing the not talking one. I'm thinking something along the lines of this, where it'll be just a normal mask where the mouth is not open, because the mask is a cybernetic mask that can open whenever need be, if need be. A little bit of lore involved with this technology for you guys, because it is a formatted technology that also runs with magic. The reason why I go for that is because I feel like not a lot of people usually go for that aesthetic, and I kind of like the idea of magic and technology being combined together. It's an aesthetic that nobody goes for a lot of the time, and I want to go for it a little bit more. A lot more, honestly. Because I believe it's able to interpret the idea of the imagination and how powerful it can be. Because people forget that your imagination is still around, you just don't use it as much as you used to when you were a kid. Me, I use it constantly. So much, in fact, it takes up my whole brain. Is it better to go for this? It will, but I need to make the smile a lot larger, or the mouth of the smile a lot larger, I should say. Meaning I'm gonna need to redraw the teeth of this smile. I need to redraw the teeths. I gotta redraw the teeths. The teeths need to be redrawn. And also the front, because yeah, it's not bulging out as much as I would like it to. It needs to be a little bit more well-rounded. Like your mama. Anyway. Yeah, looking very nice so far. Should bring this down a little bit more and enlarging it a little. He's very good, he's very nice, he's looking immaculate. Right, yeah, let me just do a little bit of this. I almost forget sometimes that the right arm usually does have a bit of extra detail that isn't necessary for purposes of weapons and other formats of tech that are embedded within it. Right, we're making some nice minute progression. Shake your body. Okay, making some minute edits with this because I feel like it is a little necessary. It's looking nice. Kind of realizing it, I should add a little bit of a idea of a rump on there. Because while it is something that you do have to pay to see, it is something I do need to show off a little bit. just to get an idea of stuff, you know. I need to help sell the idea that my body is twisting a little bit in order to get into the attack stance. Okay. Air across the way as needed. Through a lot with these drawings. I just realized we've been at this for an hour. Holy. We barely even gotten the sketching done. I say barely because we're practically almost done anyhow. At least with the sketching. Your body. Realizing I should definitely make this just a little bit bigger. This little bottom frail on the hair here. Looking good so far. Hold on. Ooh. Okay, now to get an idea of how the eye should look. Would this even be a good idea? Zoom in, enlarge it a little bit. Yeah, it's getting there, but I need to just do a little bit of this. I want to insinuate the idea of making it a bit of an angry face. Alright, move this for a second, get an idea, and yeah, this is looking nice so far. He's looking good. Might need to do a bit of a readjustment here though, with just this line in general. Yeah, looking good so far. Might need to make the eye a little bigger too. Maybe it might be a little too big. Erase all of that within there. Oh, I know one thing that I could also do to this that actually might make it a little bit more, well, a little less intimidating looking. I'm hoping that this kind of makes it look like it's like I am trying to smile at least a little bit, or at least trying to show a bit of a smile. Yeah, that would definitely have to be a little bit more on the front end, wouldn't it? Yeah, I need to think something out a little bit with this stuff. Yeah, maybe because of the waist position, I want to bring it a little higher. Actually, with the fact that this is showing, I could do this a little bit. Really sell the anger a little. You know what? Let's redo the eye entirely a little bit here. This work kind of does, but I need to extend the bulging of a smile there a little bit more. Gonna round this out a little more. Shrink this down a tad. How's this look, huh? It's actually looking kind of decent. It is actually looking decent. Putting that there just because I need to give an idea that there is a star on the other shoulder, obviously. Okay. I do hate to do this, but I think it might take a bit of a short break from doing this for a bit because I need to use the bathroom. So I am going to step away for a couple minutes and BRB. So yeah, give me a bit and we will get back to all this. Hello, I have returned. Sorry that it took a minute. Whatever was inside of me definitely was not agreeing in any sort of which way. But now we're back. Everything is fine. And we're good to get back into the fray of art. So let's just do that. How are we looking just in general right now? Pretty good. Gonna clean up a couple lines though, just because my brain is pointing them out, and I don't know how I feel about that. I was gonna make minute adjustments here and there with this stuff. That looks a lot more better. It looks a lot better. Need to just make adjustments here and there. Alright, that is basically the first part of the PNG now done. What is the second part? We're about to find out now, you and me. I think I, for the most part, am gonna go for basically kind of the same thing, but with a few minute change-ups here and there. Being the fact that this hand is now going to be going from a simple open palm to a clenching fist. The clenching fist makes the most sense to be when in the midst of trying to be, or trying to look battle ready. Okay, gotta look at my own hand just to get an idea again, because it's been a minute. Erase that a little because I need to remember that this is supposed to be a fist that has fingers that are coiling up into a circle. A circle. A little circle. Okay, that look good? It does look good. Hold on, let's get rid of this. Yeah, you know what, that looks fine. I say that looks pretty fine. Might need to readjust a bit with this finger and the thumb a little, because it does look a tad, in terms of the style, unnatural. Might want to have the bend of the thumb be a little closer to the fist rather than just extending all the way out like that. And that looks a lot better. Gotta get the rest of the body out. Okay, I need reference back because I need to remind myself what is what for the handy. Okay. Which, by the way, a little fun fact for anybody that doesn't know, when it comes to the arm, the indication of this little wrist thing right here, or the thing that would most likely just be on the back of a palm for the most part, it's kind of like connected to both the wrist and the back of the hand. Nonetheless, I almost threw up there for a second. I'm not gonna lie with you. That burp almost led to a vomit. But basically, there are different formats that it takes to let you know what mode it's in. Right now, this right here with like the little bits that kind of just curve a little bit, just a little. Those are to let you know that it's in neutral mode. When the middle spike in it goes from short to long, that's when and the sides become straight instead of rounded. That's when the blade comes out, and when the middle spike gets long but also well rounded, and the outsides go bend outwards instead of inwards, that's when it's in chainsaw mode. And yes, there is a chainsaw mode. Why? Because I think it would be cool to have a chainsaw of some kind as a weapon. And right now, when it comes to this, I'm going to rep out the chainsaw mode a lot because realizing it, I rarely ever do that. And in some cases, kind of barely ever do that. I feel like it's kind of great to at least represent the chainsaw mode a little bit more because I'm not gonna lie, if I had the ability to have a melee weapon of any kind to keep with me in either an apocalypse or just for safety precautions, just in general, I would go for the chainsaw just in general. 24 times out of 10. Why? Because I think it is fucking cool, and also I would like to get a good hint of the taste of my enemy's blood as I chainsaw them. But hey, it's just a personal thing, really. It is but more of a personal thing to want, you know? Actually, you know, I was gonna go for a clenching fist with this as well. But I kind of also want to show off one other aspect with the hands, that they have like some extra weapons for whenever need be. What is that? Some claws. Because of course, gonna be in lore, I deal with large ass monsters, so of course I would have the necessary need to kind of cling on to them as best as I can, you know? Right. Gotta make sure that the fingers steer away from the blade of the chainsaw a little bit, because you know you don't want your fingies, even if they are made out of metal, kind of popping off. Alright, which one's which? Get that one. I immediately forgot which one of these fingers was which. Now some of you may be thinking, how are you even doing that by being able to pay attention to what fingers are where and which one's which? Barely, that's how. But of course, as you saw, just gotta like basically do that every once in a while, and you're good. Apologies for anybody that had epilepsy for that. Also, kind of been thinking about it. I know that many people may not be seeing this whenever it comes to it, but I kind of do want to ask a small question for anybody that, just for pure curiosity, when it comes to the schedule for next week, because I have yet to make it for next week, at least currently. But I kind of wanted to ask, because even though we've already finished Dead Space, and thank you again to Conker for gifting me the Dead Space games, you piece of shit. Even though I know I said I might definitely go ahead and play them one day on stream, I kind of want to take a bit of a long break from playing any of the Dead Space games, just because the game, while fun, was also a bit tiring, and B, just so that way I can give like other games a bit of a spotlight for the week. No problem. But seriously though, Conker, thank you. I do appreciate it. Shit bag. I joke, obviously. But yeah, I only just want to take a break from those games just because of the fact that, like, as I said, while Dead Space was fun to play, I just want to take a break and kind of like spotlight other games for a bit, because I feel like it's kind of nice to just like let other games just have like their spotlight in life, you know. So maybe, depending on how things go, we might get back into Dead Space with Dead Space 2 next month, depending on how things kind of go throughout this month and how I kind of feel about it, you know. And I kind of been also thinking, like, one of these weeks I might just take off in general, just to kind of like collect myself a little bit, because obviously, if any of you have not been paying attention, I have been streaming week after week, and I have been grinding away with the hours in the morning as well, so there's that. I hope you guys don't really mind me. Just like one of these days, I don't know when exactly, but one of these days I might definitely like take time to myself for a bit and just like steer away just for the week, or for a week I should say. But we will see. I'm not 100% sure on whether or not I will do that, but again, only time will tell, and we shall see then. Because even though I do know that I definitely would need to take a break, I have been having too much fun just streaming around for a bit, you know? How do you have a mental break day? Not necessarily a mental break day, a mental break week. But you know, I kind of do find it funny that like when it does come to like people that like have that one streamer, YouTuber. Yeah, I know they have that like one favorite streamer or YouTuber, and that they watch like practically religiously at a point. But sometimes you gotta remember, you know what, they're human, they deserve a break every once in a while, you know? Because, I hate to say it, not everybody realizes the grind that kind of goes into like streaming and YouTubing a lot, which is a little unfortunate, because obviously they don't know how it works. They don't really know how deep the grind kind of really goes. Right, like right now, I'm taking like a lot of time out of my days for when it comes to this, just for the purposes of kind of like getting a bunch of hours and hopefully to kind of entertain a lot of people. Nah, but real, take your time, man. Take the break. I mean, I will, but I don't know exactly when I'll take it, because honestly, I do want to stream for like the rest of this month. I just don't know when in particular I will be taking this break, you know? Kind of considering it, there is like one point Hold on. Yeah, there's sometime next month where my mom's birthday will be the next month. Well, funny enough, a majority of people in my family have their birthday next month, but it's also just because like around that time, that's also when the Fantastic Four movie's coming out. And me and my family have been kind of talking about seeing that movie around my mom's birthday. Just because obviously it would be like a nice time for all of us to kind of like get together and actually see a movie about a family as a family, you know? And also, I'm not gonna lie, we also had talk about potentially going to a restaurant. This is a side note. We've been talking about going to a restaurant that was like not necessarily recently opened, but has been around for a hot minute. And I've been talking to my mom about that. That would be nice, yeah. And I've been talking to my mom about it, telling her about like a bunch of the food there. And it is a nice place, and it's funny enough a restaurant barcade type of deal. And they have this one item there, no shit. They have this one item there that is a bacon. It is a bacon PB&J burger. It is a burger with bacon, peanut butter, and jelly on it, and I'm just like, I am not one that has had a PB&J. I heard bacon on me. Yeah, it's just like, for me personally, I'm not one that has had a PB&J in a long while, and it's not because I don't like PB&Js. I just don't really like. I just kind of like had them for a long time in my childhood that it's just like, I kind of got sick of them at that point, you know. Like, it's one of those things where it's just like you had so many times that you're just like, you know what, I'm done having that for a bit. So I feel like it kind of would be kind of funny just to try, you know? Especially knowing that my youngest brother, he does like peanut butter and he does like to have peanut butter and jellies every once in a while. I feel like it would be kind of funny just to have, and maybe even share with him. Kind of see how he would feel about that and how I would feel about it, you know? Well, give it time, we'll see, you know? If I do decide to try it, I will definitely let you guys know how it is. Because, you know, funny enough, there's always that talk of just like, I'm like peanut butter. I'm like peanut butter, baby. Kind of a little funny, but yeah, I say it's just kind of would be interesting to try because like there are those points where it's just like all about that peanut butter, baby. Yeah, is like there are those moments where it's just like, you know, savor. There are some things where it's like savory and sweet that kind of go together, like chicken and waffles, you know. And I feel like this might be the ultimate form of like savory and sweet, you know. Am I coming through quick? Hold on. Okay, I guess there was just like some noise happening in the background that just like my microphone was picking up. So whatever though. But yeah, that's kind of like something I might try sometime next month, but we'll see.
We shall see as time flies.
Confused for a second. Okay. This is where the mask gets ever so slightly larger. I think in terms of this, I might definitely work on this PNG and maybe another one later today. But we'll see. Right now, I think I might finish up the sketch with the mask, and then we'll finish it up later tonight. When we... That was one of my posters, oh boy. That's fine, it didn't break anything, we're good. But yeah, my work on coloring later tonight, and another PNG as well, depending on how fast we get through this one. Definitely gonna need to patch up that poster in a minute here. Because A, I need to make sure that gets posted back up, and B, I need to let my legs stretch a bit because it's getting that sleeper feeling, you know, like where your leg just feels like TV static, you know. That's what I've always kind of like interpreted the feeling of like your legs just falling asleep. It's just that TV static feeling that you get whenever you have like blood circulation kind of going off a little bit, you know. Also, just a thought, but you could start next week the Wallace and Gromit game you spoke of it a few weeks ago. That is something that I've actually have been wanting to get in, but I also kind of realized that there are a couple other games that I also do want to add to the list a little bit. I forgot what one, but I had it in the back of my head sometime, I think last week, or maybe sometime earlier this week. It was one that I was talking about. I forgot which one. I would need to look back on it a little bit and kind of like rummage through a couple things here and there, just like be like the little gremlin I am and dig through the box of PS2 games that I haven't, just be like, where are you? You know? And don't get me wrong, I do want to get started on that Wallace and Gromit game. Just that there's obviously a plethora of PS2 games that I kind of do want to get. You know, though, thinking about it, because I did buy the collection, how about next week we kind of have a mostly retro week? Where we play a bit of nothing but retro games from way back in the day. How does that sound? That sounds like a nice idea. Would be something to do. That would be cool. Yes, it would. Yeah, that's not. That's a little too big looking. Yeah, that's a lot better. So yeah, I think that might be the thing that we might do for the majority of next week. Have it be like retro games instead of just some modern games. I mean, it will be a pseudo retro game because I also do want to get through Hollow Knight. You know, step back a timeline and enjoy the nostalgia train. Yeah, I would say that. And actually realizing it, since we're talking about the fighting collection, it would also be a good idea to kind of get back into some other fighting games that I haven't touched, especially on stream. In a while, you know, because we did play that Transformers game on the PS2, and that was a fun time, and I'm glad that I got to play through that and finish it for the most part. So yeah, that's definitely something to kind of like keep in mind for when we get to that. Yeah, you know what? Need to spread the teeth out just a tad bit. I mean, the Capcom Collection 2 would still count as retro. Yeah, I mean, that's why I kind of say it. But I say pseudo-retro week because of the fact that, as I said, I want to get through Hollow Knight. Because I have been putting that game off for a long while, and I actually, if I remember correctly, the last time I played it, when I checked, when I was deleting the saves that I had for it, was back in 2021. So I had not touched that game properly for a bit of a while. I would like to go ahead and try to finish it the best I can. At least as fast as I can in a sort of way thing, you know? I should probably actually go off here a little. Nice, yeah. And I know under technicality, as I said, when it comes to like that week, I want to go for retros, and I know Hollow Knight technically doesn't count as retro, but I don't care. As I said, I want to try to finish that game up a bit. Also, by the way, if any of you are wondering, yes, this is the tongue that I have whenever I have the mask on. There's a technicality involved with the stuff in here. Hold on, was it? You can break up the days, maybe 2 days hollow and others retro. Yeah, that's what I'm kind of thinking. And I have been, if you haven't noticed, I have been trying to, for the majority of this month, or vice versa, yeah. For the majority of this month, I kind of been, like, trying to have, like, Mondays be, like, a time where we play Marvel vs. Capcom 2 a bit. Because, well, I know we, have the collection, the new collection out already now. I do still want to, like, play through MVC2 a bit, because that is a game that, while is very popular in the FGC, the fighting game community, for any of you that don't know what that means, it is a game that I feel like is being rarely played much at all, especially on stream. So I'm just like, you know what, why not? I mean, at least on Twitch, I should say. So I'm like, you know what, why not? Let's go ahead and, like, really give MVC2 a spotlight, which is also kind of the reason why I've been listening to their musics while we've been doing art as of late. Not just mainly for the purposes of, like, well, it has been, like, for the purposes of background as well, but it's also just because, like, in general, that game has been fun, and as somebody that has gotten to try Dragon Ball FighterZ and loved Dragon Ball FighterZ and had loved it for a long time when I first played it, I do feel like MVC2 definitely deserves the kind of credibility that it needs in being the original 3v3 fighter, you know? Or at least, like, one of the original 3v3 fighters. And I feel like, actually thinking about it, wasn't Capcom, like, the original, like, company that, like, started 3v3 fighters? I guess it kind of would make sense, wouldn't it? But yeah. That's kind of like one thing that I also hope to do a lot as well. Is just, like, give MVC2 the spotlight it mainly deserves in terms of being the fighting game that it is. Because it, in general, is really fun. And it's a little upsetting that I haven't really been seeing a lot of people play it on Twitch a lot. And actually, thinking about it, let me look on Twitch real quick. Is there even anybody playing it right now at the moment? Anybody in particular? Come on, list. Where is it? You know, Marvel versus Capcom 2. There it is. There's one person that has it in his category, but he's playing Street Fighter 6, not MVC2. That doesn't count. I'm sorry, what? I was just, like, looking through on Twitch for a minute just to see if anybody was streaming it, and there's, like, one person that has it that is streaming in the category of MVC2, but he's currently playing Street Fighter 6. It's like, that don't make sense at all. What are you doing? Oh, that's the wrong thing right there. But yeah, maybe for the majority of next week, we'll definitely go ahead and do mainly a lot of retro games. And honestly, I do want to take that day to kind of, like, really look through the collection a bit as well. While I will be playing it off stream, and believe me, I will be playing it off stream. I definitely do want to, like, really look through all the games that are in there. And it's just because, like, I have been trying to give, like, some of the games a bit of credit, and the first game I tried, just because I wanted to see how it feels, was the Capcom Fighting Evolution game, or Capcom Fighting Gem, depending on how you look at it. And it definitely does feel clunky. Because I tried playing Felicia on there, because she is in there, and I know how to play Felicia in Darkstalkers thanks to the Capcom, the original Capcom collection. And yikes. There's a significant difference. A significant difference. But who knows, maybe my mind will change as time flies. But I kind of highly doubt it, because that game, from what I hear, is not at all beloved in the FGC. Again, fighting game community, if you do not know specific terms. Might need to fix up the hair a little bit because it kind of just looks a little. It looks a little stupid. I mean, stupid in the sense of just like it looks very off. Might want to definitely readjust that a little. And also, I think it would definitely be kind of cool to go for a retro. A week where we mainly go for like retro games. Because, again, it kind of is nice to. Well, I mean, I never really said it, but it's kind of nice to go back into like how games used to be back then versus how they are now. And I'm gonna tell you right now, as somebody that has an OG PS2 with still functioning OG DualShock, which I'm surprised that it's still functional. It definitely is a trip, to say the least. Unrelated, but new free games on Epic Store. Oh yeah, I keep forgetting that they do that. I better grab those real quick. Let me actually see what they are real fast. I have it up now, so hold on. Oh my fuck, Dead Island 2 is free. Holy shit. And it's a $60 game. Fucking steal and a half there, mate. That's a fucking steal. That is a fucking steal. Continue browsing? Yes, please. I wish to go back and grab the other game. Yeah, when I finished my GameCube handheld, I've been going down a huge rabbit hole of nostalgia. I bet, man. Just that for me, I would definitely like to go down that rabbit hole of nostalgia as well. It's just that I have like a very specific handful of like old games that are considered quote unquote popular from back in the day. But hey, who knows? Maybe I might do some research in some other places and see what I could find. Because I also do have that one retro game store in my area that I can go to and look around a little bit, you know? I do need to like remember like what other games I do have, because again, it's been a minute. One game that I do want to actually play though is on stream is Tekken Tag Tournament, the original, because holy fuck, that is a as somebody that's not a religious person, I believe that it is a godsend of Tekken games that has been given to us. Time for you to play Manhunt and the Suffering. You know, funny enough, I've been wanting to look into getting Manhunt, but it's just obviously with how that game and even the sequel are depicted by the public, it's kind of hard to get your hands on it, you know? So very hard to get your hands on that game, or both of them as well. As for the Suffering, I don't know if I have ever heard of that one. I'm gonna look it up. Suffering. I don't believe I have heard of this one. Man, I miss retro stores. I mean, there's still a couple out there. You just got to really look around, you know. Right, I'm just gonna look up a couple images of the Suffering just to kind of get an idea. It looks like it would be a Manhunt type of game, with what I can tell, zombies. I also like how the logo is just a man in an electric chair. Or at least like the cover is a man in an electric chair. It is kind of sick, not going to lie. My local place closed down during COVID. That is sad. But I mean, hey, it wouldn't hurt to keep looking around. Maybe there might still be one that is some other one that might still be up, but just not like that close to your area, you know? I mean, if I'll be honest, the one that's in my area, is not necessarily close. Like it's about like roughly a I'd say like a 15-20 minute drive, somewhere between that. But even then, it's still worth the drive because he also has like a bunch of other stuff. He has like stuff involved with war games like D&D and shit like that, as well as some model kits. And I'm not gonna lie, your boy does like some model kits. But yeah, other than that, he definitely is still keeping up a little bit, I would say. He even, funny enough, this is no joke by the way, he even, funny enough, has a couple of like Pokemon cards out for display, and he has them listed for the price, how people have them listed online. Which, I'm not gonna lie, I kind of do find a little cool. But at the same time, it's just like, bro, they're cards. Not everybody's gonna be wanting to pay that price for a single card, you know? I mean, obviously, you could heckle down the price a little bit if you could, but... Only place alternative I found was 30 minutes out, but I only go that way maybe once a month. I mean, fair. I mean, it's kind of around the same for me. Like, I rarely ever go to that place nowadays. But it's still worth a drive, in my opinion. Just because I like the feel of going into a store that still has, like, those old games, you know? Because, again, I guess it kind of also has a bit of a nostalgia feel, at least to me. Like, gives you that good old feeling that you had as a kid when you're just going through, like, I don't know, like, say, a Walmart or a Target or even a Meijer, where you're just going down the game aisle, just seeing all those, like, games, like, and it's in a classic format, too, instead of just being, like, encased behind, like, a bunch of glass and shit. Obviously, they did that for the reasons of making sure that the games don't be stolen nowadays, which is completely fine. And utterly understandable. But at the same time, it kind of is nice to have that, like, little feel of just, like, they're just out for you to see, you know? Okay, how the fuck do you get a square out of a circle? Oh boy. A little too big of an eraser. Big a square hole. The circle goes into the square hole. I need to get that. Yeah, this is looking nice. Okay, how we looking here? A little hard to tell with some stuff here and there, but I think it looks very good. Alright, yeah, I say that is a point where we can go ahead and call it for now. I'm gonna actually do like one more thing, and that's for the hood here. Because I realized, you know what, it probably would be better to have like at least a little something to signify the fact that there is still a hoodie there. Fuck, wrong layer. Wrong pencil. But yeah, I guess we'll see as time flies for that schedule. Because again, I definitely would like to visit a lot more nostalgia games, and I mainly, after kind of realizing it, want to go ahead and get back into like playing a lot more fighting games, because it has been a minute and my muscles, to say the least, are slowly but surely losing the memory of playing a lot of those games. Especially just because like a lot of the newer ones have just been like getting some good updates as of late, at least decent ones. And I do want to get back into playing like a lot of those games, especially like Street Fighter 6. I made mention of it earlier when I was like looking at stuff, or But I definitely want to get back into that because it's been a minute. It has been a minute. Just because, like, and I know I would definitely say like other like older Street Fighter games, like maybe even 5, and since I have the collection, Alpha 3 Upper. But I kind of have mainly been like playing a lot of Luke for when it comes to Street Fighter 6, and I definitely kind of prefer Luke. Definitely prefer Luke, just because of the fact that he has like a playstyle that kind of suits, kind of feels a little bit more nicer to me. It's just that I would definitely say like either Ryu or Ken or even some other characters would be nice to play. It's just that they're just even though they have simple movesets, they still feel so complex for my brain to bewilder. But you know, it is what it is, and I say, for now, we will let that be a decision for me to take on for the weekend. We shall move on for now. I wish they had Sakura. So I mostly chilled with Ryu. I need to remind myself, who is that character? Are they also a Street Fighter character, Conker, if you don't mind me asking? Oh yeah. Oh, her. Okay, yeah. I forgot about her for a second. Yeah, from what I can tell, she basically is kind of female Ryu. But hey, who knows? Because of the fact that their second season for the game is finishing up, maybe, just maybe, they might add her as another DLC character. We'll see. Thing is, knowing how they have been treating a bunch of the characters in this game, they're definitely going to have a big difference in playstyle, but hey, who knows, right? But that's the thing with like that everybody in the gaming industry has been doing with a lot of their older characters, is kind of like revamping them into something not necessarily new, but different. Where it's still the same character, just not as well as you remember it, you know? Like they did that with the very first DLC character for Tekken 8. But as far as I know, they may do that again for Capcom, and I know like for Street Fighter 6, and I know Capcom and Bandai are obviously like completely different companies, and their games do not have any sort of connection with each other in many ways, at least depending on if you want to go back into a certain part of history that even they don't really like to talk about. Or Street Fighter X Tekken. But hey, who knows? I guess we'll see as time flies again. Actually, speaking of the Capcom collection, though, I was talking about that earlier. I think I see somebody that we can go ahead and raid out to that we haven't raided out to in a bit of a minute. Give me 1 second while I just put in the raid message, because we are raiding as per usual. Gotta go ahead and put that in there. Yeah. I also got to put in those new emotes, which, thinking about it, well, they may not be something I will put into the tier 1 slots. I will say, they may end up being something that I can add on to later via a different way, because there is those emotes that people can unlock via bits, and I do hate to do that to you guys by hiding them behind bits. But hey, it would definitely add on to the fact of just being able to have the type of emotes that I would like to get, you know? But yeah, anywho, there's the raid message. If you want to go ahead and copy paste that, feel free to do so. If you do not have the emotes, either feel free to use your own or some others that you like to use. For now, we're going to raid out to somebody that we had raid out before, but a long while ago, and that is Hailstone WG. I believe we raided out to them, I think, sometime around last month, maybe? But it's been a minute. They're currently playing the new Capcom collection, Capcom Fighting Collection 2. And so let's send it on over to them, Shantway. Wait, what? Apparently, rating is a no-go for the browser. Maybe if I open up the app real quick. Hold on 1 minute. Stream Manager. Where there? Okay. Arrow. Stone. There they are. Alright. Okay, never mind. It is just decided to not do that. Hold on. My iPad is kind of acting a bit weird. Hold on. Okay, there we go. Apparently, I think rating might be a bit fucky right now with Twitch. So hold on 1 second. Let me test with somebody else. Is there a friend on? There's Space Pirate. Let me. Actually, no, Nello. Could I read out the Nello? Let's actually see if we can go with Nello. If we can't go with Hale. To Hale, if you're seeing this, I deeply apologize. I definitely wish I could have rated out to your friend, but we'll see. Nello. Can we raid out to Nello? Okay, apparently we can raid out to Nello. I don't know why we couldn't raid out to Hailstone, but I guess I guess because of the update with Opera, things are a bit iffy with Twitch at the moment. Well, either that or the Hale probably has like a thing going on where raids are kind of like inactive at the moment. But hey, I get it's whatever, you know. But yeah, I guess with all that being said and done, though, thank you to everybody who joined me along for just some nice chill moments with art. I do deeply appreciate it, and for those that stopped by to either just say hi, lurk for a bit, or chill out during this nice morning, I do deeply appreciate you as well. It means a lot, as usual, that you take some time to see this dumbass who smiles on your screen for no reason whatsoever. But yeah, with all that said and done, again, thank you. Really does mean a lot. As for tonight, we obviously will be continuing some art, as I said earlier. So keep an eye out for that if that is something that you wish to have. With all that said and done, thank you again. Take care. Y'all have a good rest of your morning, day, night, evening, whatever time zone you're in. I'm Star. I'm going to sign out for now. See you guys later tonight.